What's up everybody and welcome back to another episode of upcoming mods for Fallout 4. Today's going to be a little bit different than the typical episode in this series. Rather than showing you 5 or so different mods, I'm actually going to only be showing you one mod, but a lot of content from that mod. The mod in question is going to be Wasteland Overhaul. I'm sure many of you guys have heard of it. I've covered it a few times in the past. More or less what it is aiming to do is really overhaul the Commonwealth of Fallout 4, adding in a ton of new content from some of the previous games in the Fallout series. As I did say before, I have covered a ton of their stuff in the past. This isn't a compilation of all the things I have covered already. This is actually a ton of new stuff that I have yet to cover. And also an added little note, Wasteland Overhaul kind of changed its direction as of late. Originally, its only goal was to add in all the new content. Well, now the new goal is to add in a ton of new content and then actually go on and remake Fallout Tactics and Fallout 2 in the Fallout 4 engine, or they did say if a new Fallout does come out, in the engine of that game. We don't have too much work in progress on that just yet, simply because they are again aiming to add in all this new content first, then go back and start recreating the entire game. These guys are recruiting, so if you do have some different skills in mod making and you would like to help out, I will have links in the description down below as to where you can get more information, where you can participate. Regardless, with all that being said, we'll just jump right into it. As I did say, this video is going to be a little bit of a different format. Basically, I'll go through each of the individual images, then talk a little bit about each of them. I'm not going to mention the mod authors behind each of these different aspects of the larger Wasteland Overhaul, simply because that'll start to get very repetitive, as I do have a lot of different mod authors here, although they will always appear on the lower third. I don't want it to seem like I don't appreciate their work or I'm not acknowledging them adequately. I just already did one take of this video, and with mentioning the names, it felt very clunky and just unnecessary. Regardless, the first one I'm going to show you is the spider drone. This is a really cool little mine type thing. It did originally appear in Fallout 3 as part of the Operation Anchorage DLC. Basically, after you place this thing down, it'll sprout out those little legs and then run to the nearest target and of course detonate. This is really cool. We don't have too many explosive mods for Fallout 4, so I definitely could like seeing this one in the game. Then we do have the Bulbup assault rifle. This is a pretty interesting weapon. Obviously, this looks very similar to the L85. Well, it's based on that, not an exact recreation in Fallout. This weapon actually appeared in a few different forms in the Fallout universe, both in Fallout Tactics as well as Fallout 2. In real life, there are a few different variants of the L85. The L85 is more of an assault rifle, while other variants are more like an LMG. In the Fallout universe, other than the Bulbup assault rifle, this was known as the XL7OE3, as well as the light support weapon. I think this is going to be a really cool gun to get in Fallout 4, especially because we do have this weapon customization system now. We could change this around and properly get it between some of these different variants, and I'm sure even a few more added in. So then C4 and a detonator. Of course, we did just get another mod for Fallout 4 adding this in. C4 originally did appear in Fallout New Vegas. This one seems like it's going to be relatively simple, basically adding in exactly what we had in Fallout New Vegas, where you place down C4 similar to like mines in Fallout 4, and then you do have a detonator weapon that will detonate that C4. Probably quite similar to the C4 mod we did get just recently, because at the end of the day, C4 is kind of similar in all variants of it, although this one is stylistically going for more the Fallout New Vegas approach than the real world approach by the one we do have by Fading Signal. Then we do have the service rifle. I have showed you some of this in the past. Of course, this one's by Deadpool 2099. A number of his mods have been from previous Fallout games and are part of Wasteland Overhaul, although as with the service rifle and his previous mods, many of them will come out as standalone mods before being released with Wasteland Overhaul. As you can see here, we have some images of the different furnitures and really just some of the different attachments that will come with this gun. It's going to be really cool again to get this in Fallout 4's weapon customization system. The service rifle was a super iconic gun from Fallout New Vegas simply because so many of the NCR did use it, and it really was just a versatile and very viable weapon to use as a primary, since the abundance of ammo for it, as well as you did again find it on so many different enemies. The Cowboy Repeater was another really iconic weapon from Fallout New Vegas. Obviously, thematically, it fit better in Fallout New Vegas, simply because Fallout New Vegas took place in, well, New Vegas, and it had a rancher undertone to it, where the Commonwealth and Boston doesn't really have that same theme. Regardless, I think these weapons are quite cool, and I think it would definitely be pretty cool to get it in Fallout 4. Medium to long-range rifles are my personal favorite in Fallout 4. I just think that's the most fun way to engage with different enemies, especially when playing on survival mode when they do so much damage. The Cowboy Repeater allows you to use a relatively high caliber, but in addition to have a pretty fast rate of fire. All around a very cool and iconic gun, and one I'm definitely excited to get my hands back onto. The 12.7mm SMG is something that always felt a little bit more unique to the Fallout franchise. Obviously, 12.7mm ammo does exist in the real world, but I feel like it was just more notable in Fallout. Between this and the 12.7mm pistol, it was something pretty synonymous with the game. Of course, the 12.7mm SMG was a weapon that did appear in Fallout New Vegas. It was a pretty cool gun. I'm sure many of you did encounter it. SMGs are pretty lacking in Fallout 4's base game, so getting some more into the game definitely going to be awesome, as well as the nostalgia effect that this one will bring. So then we do have the cattle prod. This one's going to be pretty cool. As you can see, this is going to be taking advantage of some of the different weapon attachments in Fallout 4. I'm not really sure what each of them do, but regardless, they do look pretty badass, and melee weapons are a pretty interesting category in Fallout in general. I personally always use them as a secondary unless you're really in a situation that warrants their use. Regardless, I feel like the cattle prod, and especially the modified variants of the cattle prod, are just a cool weapon to have in Fallout. It feels very Fallout 4-ized, similar to the shish kebab and just some of the other Fallout notable weapons that we do have. The Red Ryder BB gun. This is a gun that appeared in a number of different Fallout games, of course, most notably we all use this in the tutorial of one of the most recent Fallout games, so if you played that one, you probably remember this gun. I remember keeping this outside of the tutorial and trying to use it in the real world. Regardless, getting it back into Fallout 4 is going to be pretty cool. I do hope it does come with a more practical usage, though. In previous Fallout games, the BB gun was a cool kind of gimmick weapon that you did have early on that served maybe a specific function, like shooting targets, but outside of that, you couldn't really take down enemies with it because, well, it shoots BBs. It would be cool if in Fallout 4 it does have a modified variant that maybe charges the BBs or does something else pretty cool with it. Regardless, I'm excited to get it back in the game, and of course the model on this one is looking pretty badass. The Evelyn Grant has appeared in a few different Fallout games. Most recently, of course, we all know it from Fallout New Vegas. There was a unique variant of that weapon known as This Machine, which is really one of the most popular guns in the entire game. But even beyond that, it did appear as just the battle rifle through the Gunrunner's Arsenal DLC. But even before that, it did appear in Fallout Tactics also as the M1 Garand. This is an iconic weapon both in Fallout if you played through New Vegas and in US history as a whole. It's a cool gun, it's a fun gun to use in the game, and I'm definitely excited to get it back. So we have some simpler melee weapon mods. This one is going to be of some cleavers. There's actually no appearance of the cleaver in Fallout 4. Many people don't use melee weapon mods, so I'm sure you didn't really notice, but it was pretty prevalent in previous games as a lower end weapon used maybe by some raiders or just some lower end NPCs that you would find around. The bumper sword is a great idea of a Fallout weapon. More or less what a bumper sword is a car bumper flattened out and turned into a sword. That's what these are. It did appear in a ton of other Fallout games, most recently again Fallout New Vegas. Many of these weapons did appear in Fallout New Vegas because Fallout 3 and New Vegas are many of our introductions into the series. It does seem like we're going to have a few different variants of this. It actually looks like one of them has a license plate still attached to it, which is going to be pretty cool to see, especially when it is textured. So we do have the Recharger gun. In Fallout New Vegas, there was actually the Recharger rifle as well as the Recharger pistol. The Recharger rifle was the first iteration, with the pistol being the more advanced second iteration. Basically, the idea behind this rifle was it didn't use ammo. You just recharged it, and although it wasn't that powerful, having no ammo is a pretty good feature. As you can see, it's going to again take advantage of that weapon customization system. We have a bunch of different variants here, ranging from the pistol to a full-on rifle, which is pretty cool to see. It also seems like there are going to be some more advanced and simpler variants, which is nice to see that continuity between the two games. So then to wrap things up, we do have the Tesla cannon. More or less what this is a bazooka combined with Tesla. It was made as an anti-tank weapon. Obviously there aren't any tanks in Fallout 4, so now it just is a heavy weapon that after firing it at an enemy, it actually stays on them and kind of does damage over time as static damage. It is a very cool looking weapon. It is a very iconic weapon in the Fallout universe. It appeared in Broken Steel for Fallout 3, as well as Fallout New Vegas as just a weapon with the base game. That's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. I first and foremost want to say a big shout out to the guys at Wasteland Overhaul for providing me with all this content. In the future, I am going to make another video with those guys with some more updates on the mod, and actually I'm going to ask a few of them on to comment on the mod and just talk about the progress themselves. I of course did that with another mod in the past, and you guys really seem to like that. We had Naf on that one time, so hopefully we'll have some few people in the future. Regardless, tell me in the comments down below which of these weapons or items or just whatever I did show you was your favorite. Personally, the service rifle is mine. It really hits home. I remember using that in Fallout New Vegas. It's a hugely iconic weapon, and I think it's just going to be a ton of fun in Fallout 4. As always, again, I thank you guys for watching. I do hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you all next time. Later.